Good evening. I'm Larry Ball, the chair of the Applied Economics program, and happy to welcome you to this semester's Sumerlin lecture. We're grateful, as always, to Marc for sponsoring the lecture, and we are delighted this evening to have Athanasios Orphanides. I'm sure known to very many of you. He had a long career at the Federal Reserve, where he was actually an expert on U.S. monetary policy, which I think will not really come up. He did a lot of research on what went wrong in the 1970s, back when we thought the 1970s was the worst possible thing that could happen to an advanced economy. Did a lot of work focusing on uncertainty in monetary policy and how mistakes about the natural rate of unemployment can lead to bad monetary policy, and that causes inflation. But since then, I guess the Central Bank of Cyprus raided the Federal Reserve. Oh, also, he's no stranger to Johns Hopkins. He taught a bunch of courses in Baltimore, and including co-teaching a course with me for a number of years. But then Johns Hopkins and the Fed were raided by the Central Bank of Cyprus, and he was the governor from 2007 to 2012. And also in that capacity, a member of the governing council of the European Central Bank. So obviously an interesting, to put it mildly, period in European history. So he left in 2012 and is now on the faculty at the Sloan School at MIT. And I think in the ideal position of having recent experience right in the thick of policy things and knowing a lot, but not having to be, now that he's an academic, not having to be quite as politically correct as he probably did when he was actually a policymaker. So I think he's said some provocative things about Europe, and so without further ado, welcome Athanasios Orphanides.
Larry gave you a little bit of the introduction. I'm going to tell you that you guys here have the luxury of doing economics, but being in the center of the universe when it comes to policy. And what I thought I would cover with you today was one angle that, as much as I have tried when I was in Washington D.C. to make sure I never missed, in the end, experiencing the crisis from the other side of the Atlantic for a while, I realized that I and others had underemphasized, and that is the political angle that integrates with economics and policy management. And this is why you have the politics is going to be at the center of my talk today. And politics has a dimension in European affairs that is quite different from the dimension in U.S. affairs, but my objective is going to be to try to draw some comparisons as we go along in this.